Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to me not being late. You're late.
I'm not that late. I'm 5 minutes late. I live forever and ever. We back and ready to go. I got some good sleep last night. I patched the game already, so I should be. No, I still need to do things. I need to do links and stuff. Ugh. All this stuff that needs to get done. It's so hard. It's so hard to click the buttons. Boop. Let's see. I don't need to leave the Endless Arena to do the next wave. That is true. But you can't save between waves. So, since I can't save between waves, pay penance. Kinda. I did the push-ups. I didn't do the squats, and I didn't do the thing. You know what? I should probably do that. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Let's see. I didn't do the squats. Squats I can probably do right here. I was intending to do the other things, and then I got lazy. I was thinking, oh, okay, I'll say that I did the squat. I'll say that I did the push-ups that I did. And then I didn't do that either. I didn't say that I did it. But I'm like, I'll wait until I do the things. So we're going to do the squats right here because we can. We can't really do the things right here. Whoa. What a great way to start a stream. We're just starting the stream with squats. Is that 4, 5? Got to do it like the proper, Final Fantasy VII way. I don't know a ton about squats. I'm not using weight, so it's not like the posture is as critical, but you don't want to fuck it up too bad. I think that's probably 12-ish, 13, 14, 15, 16. It was really bad. 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't know when we're going to do the planks. The planks are a nuisance because they take a bunch of time. So I'll need to do... But I don't want to do the planks when we're supposed to be doing other things. I'm like linking linking this stream over in the thing and then doing squats. Like wait! I thought what is happening? I thought this was supposed to be a Might and Magic stream. Why are there squats? Excuse me. Yeah, when I did the initial burst through the Endless Arena, when I was just doing because I did probably 30 of them before I started running into too much trouble in my first playthrough. I left every 5 or 10 or something like that. Let's see here. So, when last we left off, we had just gotten back to Sorpigal, and I believe that our intention is to clear through the islands now to try to get some EXP. It might also be to take a nap. We might be taking a nap. How about that for on-stream penance? Just taking a nap. Look, I'm not out of breath, you're out of breath. Okay, we're going to... I think honestly just pop over there. See what happens. Do I need to do anything else? Have I done most of my inventory stuff?
We don't need it.
Not everything. Current license.
Sure.
I have some stuff that's unidentified, but not a ton. I think we're gonna try to just dive into the shrine and see if we can get there. I think I'm probably gonna go around this side to get in because I want to block line of sight from this exploding mage because I can't consistently dodge its attacks, and we want to basically get into behind line of sight as quickly as possible. Now, the fact that I didn't immediately die is convenient, but the other thing is I might be able explode. Do I have reservation? Oh, I don't have preservation up. I have my DPS set up active. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So we're gonna need to swap our setup here. Oops. Okay, so now nope, that's 37%. We don't need Blizzard Eye for this. We're gonna go with Fate. Okay, we're gonna have Fate up. Everything's directly in front of us. We don't need to go too crazy with it. This one won't be able to get far enough. I can't pull this far enough out to do it that way, but what we can do, potentially, I might be able to lure if I can lure the ones that were over there a bit further away, we could potentially get some stuff done. I don't know how many my guess is probably 0. We might have lured some of the ones that were the furthest down far enough away that they won't aggro, but I don't even know if we got that much accomplished. Let's see. We have an unfortunate spread here where we have a couple of top tier mages in a bad position that we do not like. See, these two, I guess these 3 mages are a problem. Yeah, we have that one over there as well. So we do have 3 of the top tier mages all at once. Okay, this is a much larger setup if we pull the ones at the top. Can I basically, once I get this started, it should start progressing in an okay way fairly quickly. Do I want to pick up my spells? I don't really have much use for them yet, if we're being honest. There's some very useful spells that won't really do much for me until I have the ability to keep more spells on at a time. Like, obviously, protection from air is very clutch. Earth resistance is very clutch for the endurance boost. There's a lot of really important buffs that will make my life a lot easier for stuff like this, but which don't become relevant until I can maintain at least 4 or 5 buffs at a time. Okay, I think I pulled a good portion of the ones that were over in this corner area to the northwest. So my hope is that I will have pulled enough enemies away from the east side there that I can maybe do some work on the east. The other thing is that I need to grab this mage and move it toward me here, if at all possible. Unfortunately, it started moving the wrong direction first. And getting... shit. Okay, we didn't die. Preservation's doing work. We're gonna see how this goes. Those are fairly far away now. I don't know if they're far enough away, but we'll find out. We will find out. Okay. I think we have a good shot at being able to pull this, maybe not solo, but maybe close to solo. Like maybe this and 1 or 2 more. I'm actually going to pull out. So with me pulling out there, I can also identify... We did a little tiny bit of damage, but not a lot. And it looks like really nobody got any closer to me except for these little mages that are easy to deal with. So... burning one of these down is going to be... Okay, I got too close there and pulled a whole extra boss. I can't just... I want to take a look at the northern side now. Oh shit. Are they just going to rotate back? Actually, sure. Let's... So many up there. I'm just trying to think about what is the optimal way to approach this. If I could maybe... I've pulled a bunch over there. I'm going to save this. We're going to see if I can do something with this. If I can get this mage to a position that I want it. Which it might just not be feasible. My hope is that this causes them to get closer. And the problem is that I'm not moving this boss here. This boss is kind of the linchpin of this whole deal, where unless I can work out a way to deal with that boss, I don't know what I can do. But we've got the other two bosses locked in the bottom over there. Let's see. We have one mage there. We have some mages over there. I'm going to check this north side. If I could approach this spot without pulling any of the bosses, that would be useful. Like, I could potentially, if I got in here, who do we have out over here? We have a couple of mages. We have... It doesn't take a long time for me to recover. So there's an argument to be made that I basically just need to grind it out. Basically just hop in, deal the damage I can do, pop out, repeat. Like that's a possibility. If I approach this corner, does that boss approach? We're gonna find out if that boss has moved. Damn it. Let's see here. Yeah, the boss did move. So if I approach that corner, it doesn't play well for me. I think I'm not doing enough damage for this to be super realistic on a reasonable time frame. We're going to head up north. We're going to start clearing these. This pack, the place that we're going to be pulling them to, isn't where they spawn. So, in addition, there aren't any bosses that are going to spawn. So, from a practical perspective, this should be a lot easier, even though the enemies involved are a bit higher level on average. I just need to basically get through that initial bit without dying. And before, that was broadly impossible. Now we might still die because we got tagged on the person who maintains the water walking. But it's much more reasonable. Right, preservation. I could actually... Oh wait, never mind. They do show up over there as well. Okay, we need to reload. Took too much damage there. Okay. How the fuck was I moving the first time? I guess I was... Okay. Oh, there's enemies that spawn right there. Okay. Shit. Okay, that's so funny. The first time I did this, I did it... Okay, so... There's so many of these pages in play. Oh, you know what it is? I probably just got lucky with... They're not guaranteed to actually cast at me when their cooldown gets up. Okay, so we got out of there. So now that they're spawned, we can we could just basically pop over and start clearing them. Concerning. This. Okay, this is the one that I
I'll save us.
would prefer to have here, but... Oh no, there's another one here now. We're almost certainly boned. I mean, it'd be nice to actually be able to land a hit. Okay, I can try to leave. We're gonna fail to leave. I could also lure the first couple of them over here. Yeah, I think I should probably lure the first couple of them on their own. Oh, right. I should... probably maintain my lifesteal for the fighting. This prevents me from retreating. But honestly, retreating isn't that consistent anyway, so... Okay. Okay. So first couple of them are down. And I think that things are going to get a bit easier when we finish clearing. Let's see. We need about an extra level before we can go back to 7. Oh shit. Who does? Oh, there's somebody standing right next to me. Whoopsies. Oh god, there's another one behind me! There's more than one in play here. Let's move. Hello? This one's pretty low, but I'm in a bad position right now. Go! Oh, there's another one back there. Oop, it's also low. Wait, no, that's the one that I had here? Question mark? Okay, we got one down. Okay, if we had the ability to recover for a bit, we'd be in good shape. Unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to be able to get that time we need. Unless we get it here. They're very meandery in their approach, so some of them are going to leak each time. And each time some... Oh, God! That's very bad, because, yeah, they're going to leak from the back. Damn. I needed to just jump to the next thing, but then I had an enemy there. I should have also checked that thing's HP. Because if I had checked its HP, I could have gotten an idea of whether I needed to actually flee or whether I needed to... I basically took There were two very risky things to do there. The first was stay there, but I only had like 2 characters up. So if the enemy had anything more than a sliver of HP, there's a decent chance that they would just solo me. But if I keep going, the risk is that more of them will wrap around behind me, which is what happened there. And I took the wraparound risk without even checking the HP on the target that was in front of me. And that was a bad decision. It wasn't just a bad decision because, you know, I had to take a risk and I picked the one that got me killed. It's possible that the other way would have resulted in the same thing. It was bad because I didn't check the information that I needed to check in order to make the correct decision. So I don't know which decision was correct. That one might have happened to be the correct play. And I have no way of knowing, and I will never know. That information was never acquired, and thus does not exist in this universe. I would love to kill you. Thank you. Oh, we have so many. Probably some of them are going to pop up behind me. Okay, yep, there it is. Fuck. I'm totally boned. We're way too in the negative to be able to pull that out. You know what I could do actually, which weirdly might be the right play here, is while I'm dealing with these goblins, I might actually be better off going with a DPS setup rather than preservation. Because one of the issues that I'm running into with them is that I'm actually getting taken out not just from burst damage. Burst damage is a component, but they're not hitting for more than my max HP and damage. And one of the things that's killing me in these protracted engagements is just attrition. I'm losing to attrition. And the reason I'm losing to attrition is in part because I'm just not doing enough damage to keep up with how quickly I need to be burning them down to keep ahead of the game.
Kill me.
No. Where'd you go? Okay, we're in the green.
I need healing.
It would make a degree of sense for us to go to Iron Fist and just pick off some of the low-hanging fruit in Iron Fist. Because we've already been there, so all the chests are loaded up. There's really not much disadvantage to going there. But I do kind of like the idea of finishing this up. I'd like to get it done.
Kill me.
I'd like to get it done, but will I? It's a real question. I think it makes more sense to disengage here. We're basically looking to disengage in such a way that it stops hitting us for a while. Okay, I think it's not moving at the moment. We're going to take a second to get a drink. Let's go. Okay. So we cleared out that one. Let's take a look. We're making very slow progress through our EXP here. But we're getting there slowly. I'm going to just walk back a bit. My hope is that I can pull this one separately, or at least slowly enough. I heard another one attack, I think, so I think there's one on my right. Yes, there is. Oh shit, there's another one over there. This one's in line of sight. For these, I think there's a risk if somebody is at low HP of getting insta-gibbed through the preservation. Which is why I stopped healing. My hope is that they're all just chilling in this corner. There's one stuck here. It's no longer stuck. Unfortunately, when they attack me like that, they're going to meander off in a random direction. So I think the wall will block its ranged attacks. The melee attacks don't do shit, so yeah, the mage's lightning bolt seems to be a bit overtuned. That was a massive hit. But I guess in large part that just comes down to the fact that it's a really low level enemy with a spell that's dangerous but very low level. And then you scale that up to a higher level, but you still have completely garbage resists. Like, I have 35%, 16%. Yeah, like, we're working with such low resist that those spells are just going to crush this. Whereas armor class, you know, we have at least some of that. Okay. There we go. So we got a couple of those down. And we just keep rotating up this way. And see how this goes. What am I doing? I'm like treating that house as if it's like especially safe, and it's just not safe at all, really. Like, if I just sit on this corner of this house, I could pull the entire enemy group to me safely. And I'm like, wait a second, no, that doesn't sound right. Is that right? And the answer is no, it's not right. Excuse you. Did you, like, get knocked back a little bit more so that you're out of range to hit me completely? I'd appreciate it if you'd take a few steps back. Just take a few steps back for me, please. Alright. So, you don't have regeneration at all. Shit. Okay, we got a couple more coming. And I think that we should be able to just sort of rotate these to us and clear them out this way. The hope is that we can basically just pull these behind a corner here where their bolts can't hit us. And if they can't hit us with the bolts, we've established that their melee attacks just aren't really that dangerous. Like, that's a decent hit, but it's not like...
I need healing.
It's not giving anybody. So, how are we doing? We're at 87%. I was kind of hoping we'd be able to get like a map completion here, but I don't think we're going to get a map completion here. I also don't think we're going to get enough for us to leave from this. We're going to need to clear possibly the whole map, but I think probably more likely we're just going to need to clear at least a couple of those bosses. If we clear a couple of the bosses, I think we'll be in okay shape. We definitely need to pull back behind cover because the person who's activating regen. Both of our sources of healing here are down. The regen and healing person is down, and the vampiric regen person is also down. Oh, we'll back up now. Okay, we need to get out. Entire fleet repaired. Oh. That's suboptimal. Hello, friend. Okay.
I can't identify that.
Suboptimal. Alright. But yeah, we can whittle these down. And once we've whittled them down, we can move on with our lives. How the fuck was I hitting you? Alright. Should be golden. Save the game. Pop over here. Okay. Slowly but surely. Has any child ever found the moral of the tortoise and the hare compelling? Like in the history of the universe, has anyone ever heard the tortoise and the hare and gone, yeah, slow and steady does win the race? Has that ever happened? Has a human being of any age ever thought, yeah, that seems reasonable. That seems like a reasonable thing to take off the back of this. Like, it almost makes me feel like we were being trolled. Of, like, the point of it is that you don't accept the moral of it as being reasonable. Right? It's like, realistically, like, no one's ever found it compelling. Well, that's not true. People find it compelling, but people find it compelling because it's so dumb, right? Because, like, Slow and Steady Wins the Race is such a different, like, message than don't literally fall asleep right before the finish line. Like, as a moral of the story, like, don't count your chickens before they hatch, or, like, don't rest on your laurels kind of message seems reasonable. But I don't feel like that's what, Slow and Steady Wins the Race means, right? Slow and Steady means the race is more about, like, pacing yourself, right? It's about pacing, which that's not really the problem that happens in The Tortoise and the Hare is one of pacing, right? It's just, like, hubris. So it's, like, it's kind of a weird dynamic where, like, you have, like, a very clear-cut moral that's like a catchy slogan that so clearly doesn't match with the actual, like, the story being told. Because, I feel like the story works better if the hare collapses from exhaustion right before the finish line, right? Like, they fully burn themselves out. They cannot keep moving. But, like, that's not the story. The story is that the hare, like, goes, oh, there's the finish line. Well, I'm going to just lie down because I feel like it, right? So I wonder if maybe, like, in the original story, it was about someone working themselves so hard that they, like, burned out before they got there. And the point was, like, no matter how fast you are, if you kill yourself getting to your destination, you won't get there. You can't get to your destination if you burn yourself out on the way, right? That might have been the original point, and then the fucking Protestants got a hold of it. We're going to complain about Protestants again. And the Protestant work ethic is like this very toxic work culture that's like the origin point of, like, the modern, like, Sigma grind set culture to a large degree. And I wonder if when, like, the Protestant work ethic got involved, it was like, oh no, we can't tell people not to work themselves to death because we want them to work themselves to death. Because again, like, if you look at the narrative, if the hare isn't resting out of hubris and is resting because they collapsed from heat exhaustion, the narrative works, and the moral behind the narrative works. Right?
What is it?
And the other interpretation of it is that people tell kids that story with that moral, and the framing behind the story and the moral as actually, like, a deliberate straw man because they don't want kids to really believe it. They don't want the kids to believe in pacing themselves. So they tell them a story that has a moral that they disagree with, and where the moral is not actually supported by the narrative, right? Where there is no real connective tissue there. It's just very interesting. I would have to ask someone who has kids. I'm gonna have to ask my mother about this. Did you read me The Tortoise and the Hare? And if so, like, no person on Earth has ever been convinced by this moral, and all it does is result in the kids going, "That's dumb." All the rabbit had to do was not fall asleep right before the finish line, and they would have won by a mile, right? Like that's the response that I'm not. This isn't just a me thing, right? Like every shitty 5-year-old has that response to the tortoise and the hare, right? Like that's like the famously only response that any human being ever has to that story, right? Am I crazy? I feel like that's the only. I feel like that's the response people have. I picked the wrong time to bring this up while chat is slow. Instead of doing it, if there's a bunch of people to tell me, no, you're actually crazy. Most 5-year-olds just go, oh, okay. Or make tortoise fan fiction and draw the tortoise and go, ooh, tortoise number 1. I will say though, Bowser is the fastest Mario Kart character. At least in the old ones. In the old ones, Bowser, the tortoise, is the fastest character, has the highest top speed. Just takes a while to get going. Bad acceleration, really high top speed. Let's see. Did not make a lot of progress in terms of EXP. Okay. How willing am I to torment myself with this island instead of just going back to Iron Fist for now? I think I might want to just go back to Iron Fist and putter around for a bit. Because I'm tired.
Let's leave it behind.
Ooh, right. We got some gear there. So we got this, which could be useful. Slip that on you. A little bit of a boost. Yeah, I think Iron Fist is the play. Let's head over to Iron Fist. Just because there might be ways that I can do this, but it's going to be slow and kind of a pain in the ass. And I'd rather just pop over to Iron Fist and... Actually, you know what? I can also level up. We can do 2 levels. And does doing 2 levels help me? I mean, yeah, objectively, right? Does it help me enough to make this feasible? Probably not, right? But any spells that I could pick up that would help? Let's see. We actually don't have very many spells cast with this character. We have regen, and is that it? What do we have? 40%. Oh, we have body resistance. Body resistance increases our might. So we have might boosted already. We could try to get... we can pick up Fate or Bless on this character. Let's pick up Bless, actually. If we pick up Bless, we'll be a little bit more accurate.
Magic of spirit, mind, and body.
I am honestly kind of shocked that I was able to come in here right now. Okay, so that's cheap as fuck. We should probably get Fate as well. We can't get Fate as well. I am going to pick up Mind Resistance because it's cheap. So Regeneration, Body Resistance, Cure Weakness, Cure Poison. Cure Poison is pretty important.
Well, it's good to have.
If I do this, I don't have nearly as much mana to heal with. That's probably fine, though. Most of my healing is not coming
Magic
from
of spirit, mind, and body.
direct healing, right? Cure Weakness is on you. I forgot to her body right now. So, carrot.
The magic of fire, air, water, and earth.
We can pick up haste if we want. Do we already have fire resistance? We probably need air resistance. Shield reduces incoming magic damage, which is very solid. I don't know that we can afford it. Do we have jump already?
Can't wait to cast it.
Do we have... Oh, we can pick up expert air. We can get jump right now. Do we want jump? Will jump make a big difference in the immediate future? It honestly could. It probably won't. I could see a world where it would allow me to dodge some of these incoming attacks, because there will be another axis of movement.
Well, it's good to have.
No Spiroptu. Boy, I am groggy today. I don't know why I'm so groggy. I feel like I slept really well last night, so I shouldn't be this tired. Oh, I'm not allowed to be this tired. I slept. Let's see here. Hair. I guess people probably tell kids stories mostly because of nostalgia. I would guess that there probably isn't a really coherent reason behind it. If I had to guess, the fact that story is like incoherent gibberish in terms of its like messaging, I think is just something that people don't think about. Like, I don't think people actually give a shit about the moral of the story that they tell to kids. The fact that it has that moral is kind of it's like a factoid that you're sharing rather than like being core to the experience. That would be my guess. Yeah, sure. That's all I can think. Alright, we're gonna go to Iron Fist and do easy stuff to get a level. And then we're gonna come back here when we're a little bit stronger. That's the goal. So let's go a bit further north. Yeah, I think that we clear out. I think we're going to clear out this like southern section with the Ba cultists. I'm not falling asleep, you're falling asleep, but no. Let's see here. So yeah, I think that at the moment, we basically just need to... let's follow the path of least resistance for a little bit. Just to get ourselves caught up slightly in the power curve. And then, once we've done that... Because I don't want to invest too much energy beating my head against the wall at the very beginning. When there's so much time to be spent beating my head against the wall once we get into the mid-game. Once we get into the mid-game, we're going to be able to start reaching the points where people have been sort of like... What is the word I'm thinking of? Whoa, that's a boss. It's a puller. We do not want to deal with a puller here. I'm going to die. I'm literally trapped. Okay. Okay, if she goes down, then we die. Okay. I didn't realize there was a puller in this pack. I didn't notice that there was a boss in this pack at all. Just noticed that double speed. I feel like as long as I don't... As long as I don't move too far forward, I think we're fine. It's just tempting to move too far forward. Because... the enemies are so damn slow. They're literally random uncles with walking sticks. Alright. So once we've gotten to the point, I'm really looking forward to getting to the point where we can actually go to all three instead of needing to go to just here and 8. And because of the fact that we're not forcing ourselves to do every dungeon when we first get to an area, we're going to be able to do stuff like get our monk online at a reasonable time instead of needing to... Well, I guess it's not going to be at a reasonable time, though, because... Well, it depends. It depends on how much money I make. I don't know how much Mastery is going to cost. I think Mastery is probably going to cost about 100 grand. I think it's about 100 grand. There we go. This is an issue. We have more than one on us. On the plus side, I think we've locked in the boss. So I think we might be okay. It depends on what's on my right. If that's not a fanatic, we're probably fine. 2 of the people who are down have regen. Okay, we took down the wrong one. We got a helm. Everybody's back up. And we can hopefully just take this out without it doing too much. But yeah, my hope is that we'll be able to get through a good portion of the game before we have to leave the country. Somehow it got to be November. I don't know how November showed up, but it's like election day already.
We don't need it.
It's already November 5th. Pretty wild. So we'll be getting... Oh, right, yeah. If I keep moving forward, I'll just keep aggroing more enemies, it turns out. Grab this back. If we start seeing some fanatics coming in, we'll do something about that. It's pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting to see as well, like with having this much more loose, this loosey-goosey setup here. I'm curious to see if it makes things a lot easier or not. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle the whole dungeons thing, if we're being honest. Because I haven't really decided on that. Like, I feel like some dungeons are going to give me like many levels of EXP pretty consistently, and I guess to some degree I kind of just like the idea of holding off on doing the dungeons until I can get the, you know, maximal amount of EXP and stuff out of them. That just seems like the thing to do. It'll also make the game easier to do it that way to a degree, because we won't have to lock ourselves into any particular engagements until later on. So this is weirdly a more chill run in some ways than like a standard run, because the demands of the bolster maxing lend itself towards like different priorities. Okay, we have archers in play here. We're eventually gonna start tagging me. That's the theory. I guess I could also disengage my preservation, because these aren't hitting very hard. But that would hurt me a bit when I run into bosses, probably. We're gonna get out of here because we've taken quite a bit of damage. I'm just gonna wait on the. Holy shit! Why is that thing so fast? That's concerning. That's concerning. Okay, I'm just gonna hide over here. Hopefully that guy doesn't attack. Concerned with the lizard man. Will get attacked by the guards. For now, we seem to be okay. The guards are non-responsive at the moment. As long as the guards are unresponsive, we should be
Who wants some?
able to handle this. Okay, we're in the green again. Save the game. We're 15% cleared for this zone now. Which experience do we have? We have some amount of experience. If I had to guess, I would say that we probably have 3/4 of a level to go. But I'm not entirely sure that... Oh, shit. I'm not sure that there won't be any weird rounding issues with bolstering. Okay. All set.
That hurt.
So we're going to clear these out. I think clearing this section is not going to... I don't think that clearing this section is going to get me enough EXP to level up again. But, or not to go to the next area. But it'll get me close, I think. We're getting the right ballpark, I think, at this point. Can we aggregate more? Yeah, once we've got a good portion of this cleared.
Well, we got that one.
Well, we get that one. Okay. I've got 44 grand actually. That's more money than I would have expected. We haven't looted any chests or anything. That's just cash we found. We found almost like 10k in cash. Is that right? I mean, I guess there's a lot of enemies in play, right? Like, all of the spawns are massively increased. So I guess it makes sense. The mystics evolve so fast. Okay, I'm gonna try to burn down the wizard. The wizard down. I think there was only one lizard in this pack, so if we take down the lizard, the overall pack damage should be much more manageable. So got that done. Pop over here, clear this out. And we are going to clear you out. And what else are we going to do? Come back down. Thank you. Okay. I'll try to burn down the Fanatic. Once this is down, the rest of the pack should be fairly trivial. We have a couple of wizards in that pack, which means that pack's probably going to be a bit more work to deal with. Got two-handed sword. But yeah, I think that weirdly we don't need too much in terms of spells until we start getting promotions. And it's probably going to be quite a while before we start getting promotions in earnest. We can be a bit more aggressive trying to do some of the, like, freebie quests than we normally could. But it's still not... it's not necessarily trivial to get those done without feeling like we might be wasting some of the, like, higher level loot not being bolstered as much as we'd like. But certain areas that aren't very high level areas, but which have high level stuff in them, like Deja is a classic example, is that areas like Deja, where I avoid going to them because the sub areas are super high level, are very reasonable to go to early, which means that I'll be able to do stuff like the Priest Quest fast. Whereas the previous time, I didn't get it done for a billion years. So what places are like that here? Actually, you know, weirdly enough, Mire the Damned. Mire the Damned isn't a very high level zone. So if I don't have to do the dungeons immediately upon entering it, I can actually go to the Mire the Damned early. And going to the Mire the Damned early gives me access to what? Who does? There. If we go to... When would we want to go to Mire? It's not a super high level area. Most of the stuff there is fairly reasonable to deal with. It's just like a shit ton of skeletons. It'll be slow to deal with compared to how we normally deal with it, because normally we would just like dive into it and go completely ham, which is obviously not a thing that we can do if we're going to it at a level that's similar to the level that the enemies are. But it's just like skeletons and harpies. I mean, they're not trivial, but they're not crazy impressive. But if we do that, we get access to what? Like Axe Mastery, I guess? But we already have access to Axe Mastery. What else do we get from going to Mire early? We could get the Paladin promotion quest done early. We could get that done real early. Because killing that dragon, if we do that real early... Ooh, killing those dragons is not that hard. Mire, I don't think has, like... I don't think the chests in Mire are going to be that important. So, ooh. Maybe I should come up with a spreadsheet for my my routing there, actually. That is something to think about. Let's go AFK for a minute. In the near future, I can potentially concoct in my head some of the stuff that needs to get done. So, because of the fact that we're trying to do the max bolster thing, those dungeons that are just a single enemy that you kill are really, really good choices for like a dungeon to clear. So like the exterior of Tatalia has a few chests, but nothing of like nothing. It's not like super huge, and it's not like Avli. Like going to Avli's a really high level area that I don't necessarily want to open the chest for immediately. Okay, just give me a second. I need to go AFK for a second. I'm gonna theory craft this. And I return. And I remember that, oh right, I don't have a paladin anymore, so this is all kind of moot. It's kind of moot. I don't actually need to worry about this, because without having an actual paladin in the party, in Might Magic 6, I'm going to be promoting off of I think only Archer and Knight. Those are the only two relevant quests. So getting to Freeport... It's not Freeport, it's Freehaven. Getting to Freehaven... Oh, shit! Is going to be a critically important thing. As soon as we get to Freehaven, we don't promote anybody. But we do get a promotion quest done, and that's cool and exciting. But once we've cleared a much, much later dungeon that's in Freehaven, or Freeport, if you prefer, then we can get the thing done. So yeah, I'm not sure how I want to approach this. I feel like some of it's going to be based off of just like vibes in the moment, but I am wondering when I want to start digging into the lower level dungeons. I would prefer to do a dungeon when I think it's going to give me just like a level, but that's not ever going to happen for certainly like the Might and Magic 6 dungeons, as an example. So the other thing that I could do is wait until they're like going to be easy enough to do that it's not a huge pain in the ass to leave the dungeon midway. There you are. Oh, are you going to die of poison? You sure are. Okay. Wait. How long was I dicking around there since the last time I saved? Okay, not that long. That was a bad idea. I just potentially... think she's gonna die. Alright, let's... I'm gonna see if I can dive over there and get... So where is the wizard? The wizard in the front? Somebody just tagged me from the side and it was the wizard. Okay. Whoops. Okay, yeah, let's do this a bit more reasonably. I think what we're basically looking to do is get this thing But we could try picking up Cure Poison. If we end up struggling too much with this. That's going to be too tall for that strat. Yeah, she's just going to die. It's way too much damage. I think that if this thing tags me, then I think the person that it tags is dead. For right now. So we need to actually get it behind a corner. Let's clear this out. Okay, once people start going down, we need to pull out. The damage output here isn't really too intense, but it's certainly something. Okay, we now have enough people that are low that we just need to get out. We reset to here, I think. And the Mystics are faster than the others for some reason. I think the flag for which ones count as ranged might have gotten flipped somewhere. Because the ranged enemies are usually slower. That's all the ones over here. So with these cleared, I think what we can do is we can just pull this group. And if we can get this thing to just approach into here, then we'll be in good shape. And if it doesn't approach directly into the path that we need it to, then we're not in good shape. Okay, it looks like we're set. So the Venomous Lizard Wizard is going to go down. And then we can move on. So, we don't need to do the Mire the Damned thing, because the routing there just doesn't make much sense. Actually, yes. Both of our spellcasters are actually attached to the same classification. For 6 and 7, at the very least. It's only for 6 and 7, I think.
Ah, nice.
So that is pretty solid. Let's see, who do we want that on? What does this give? Body resistance? Let me give this to you, I think. You don't even have a necklace.
This item's weak.
It's a pretty sizable boost.
Jump. Junk.
Okay. So with that done, we should be able to pretty much just dive. We can clear these out. And I think we just dig behind here for now. These align together here in a way that we can start working on them.
Nice.
Ooh, a shielding rig would be nice right about now. Okay. Take that out. Take these two out. Hey, Drunksters. It's been pretty good. Feeling a bit sleepy, but we're just sort of like sleepily walking through some of these easier enemies in preparation for going to the Scary Islands. We've got about half of what we're looking for in terms of EXP to continue, which is not optimal. I was hoping we'd be a little closer than that. Yeah, it's a great series. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a... It's like a genre of game that kind of like... I think peaked around this time, honestly. Like, I think that your like Skyrims and your Elder Scrolls of the new variety tend to be a bit more... They tend to feel a bit more samey in a lot of ways, and the this era there was like a huge amount of like really interesting stuff that got put out, and so like you have like the wizardry games that were experimenting a lot, and you have this series that was doing a lot of cool stuff, and yeah, like Wizardry 8 is total madness, and you really need the mod that makes the combat go faster, because I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. You know, the speed of the... Oh! We can't drag these into town. The, saying. Oh yeah, but you know, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the games in this era kind of needed some modding to make them work properly. Like Might Magic 9 comes to mind for that one, where it's like if you're not like installing some patches that came out substantially after the release of the game, then Might Magic 9 just kind of doesn't work. So you simultaneously have a bunch of stuff that's like really interesting and did some really cool stuff with like sort of like the creation of new genres, and also just does not work at the same time. Often like the same game will be like, oh, this is actually really interesting and cool what they've done with this genre, and like fully doesn't work. You need 17 mods to make this thing function at a basic level. And I kind of feel that way about both Wizardry 8 and Might Magic 9, where they both did some really cool and interesting stuff, and they're both kind of a mess by default. This is potentially a mistake. I can't really retreat too much without running them into town, where they'll apparently get attacked by the guards. I could try to just dodge around this cliff. I've now cleared the enemies on the other side of this cliff, right? So, in theory, I should just be able to run back this way and pull enemies toward the temple, maybe? Use the temple to...
Come on, then.
block some of them. Oh god, the trees! Alright. We'll see how it goes. It's not gonna go great, I don't think. Actually, this is... Because of the fact that they have to go around the tree... Oh, we're done. We're totally boned. We're boned.
I'll save
I mean, we're probably boned? You are so tanky. Holy shit. A Spiritus is going crazy. Let's see. Arcanite. I haven't heard of that one, actually. There's been a few people who've been making, like, indie stuff in this, like, this genre recently. And some of it I've been made aware of, and some of it I haven't. I can take a look at the Archelon thing. I'll take a look at that actually after this poll because I'm curious, and if I don't Google it, then I'm not gonna remember the name. So I'll take a look at that once we finish this poll, which is apparently gonna go fine actually. Somehow, I don't know how that ended up working out for me. That usually when I do a long extended poll like that, it goes to hell pretty fast. Let's see. Oh, this is like this looks like Baldur's Gate adjacent. Interesting. I'll have to take a look at this. I really like the thingamabobber. Wait, it has first-person exploration. Oh, that's interesting. So it's like first-person exploration, and then you like go into the top-down. Like, is it like random encounters? How does that? Interesting. That could be very interesting, actually. So it's like kind of like a hybridization almost of like the exploration elements of like a Might and Magic style game. Do you have the ability to fly and jump? This is the real thing. Interesting. Yeah, I'll take a look at it in more depth now that it's on my search history. I'll actually be able to find it again. It could be a lot of fun. Oh, wait. So probably similar to, God, what was that game called? I just played it. God, the one that's like, what is it, like Step? I think it's like Step folklore kind of thing, right? Something about the sun. Let's see if I can figure out what it was called. I'm gonna have to check Steam. I actually don't remember what that game was called. I think I currently have it installed. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So it's not this. There's a name that came to my head that it isn't. At least I don't think it is. No, right? No, it's definitely not this. What are you called? Just like looking through my Steam list. What are you called? The problem is that I don't actually even know if it would be under my uncategorized list. I want to see my list of literally all things. My uncategorized list is very large. Let's see. I think it was Enderal Forgotten Stories. I think this is what it was. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I think this is it. It's not. I don't think. No, this is the Skyrim mod. Nope, it's not Enderal. Let's see. Continuing on. It's something that I have like every single achievement for, basically. So it's why am I not able to find you? I guess because I'm looking at something in alphabetical order and I don't have any idea what it's called. Is it this? I think it's this. Yes, I think it's called Operencia the Stolen Son. I think that's the one that it was. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a really cool, like, folklore game that I just really enjoyed it. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'll save us. I'll save us.
Oh wow, that would be very funny. I would never finish it. I took so long to finish the original game. Just imagine how long it would take to finish the other thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I found it very. I really enjoy stuff that's like kind of like tied in with like a different aesthetic that I'm used to. In terms of like coming from like a different folklore tradition, basically, that I'm used to seeing, because like there's a lot of sameness to like the folklore that is pulled from, and which elements of that folklore that they pull from. So like if you were to think about like, you know, like Central American folklore, you'll see like Quetzalcoatl will show up in a bunch of random places as like a winged serpent, but like other than just seeing something called Quetzalcoatl somewhere, you're not drawing anything else from that, right? You're getting that one specific thing from this piece of folklore, and just seeing something where it's like you're getting a different like sort of like narrative, like you're drawing from like a different narrative tradition is the way that I would describe it, where it's like things just behave a little bit differently than you necessarily expect, and the emphasis is just in different places is just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I tend to get very bored if I can predict what's going to be like once I know the machinery that like works a given like narrative structure, I just kind of like go like, yeah, okay, so we're just kind of like going through the paces at this point. So I am constantly in the need for like a new like you know, genre or, you know, just like structure of storytelling to continue to glean enjoyment. And yeah, I love when there's like just like interesting stuff that did I just pull a scroll out of a tree? Is that what just happened? Was that lying in the ground? No, it wasn't. That was the tree. I think I just looted that tree for a scroll. I did not know that there was a scroll tree here. Wonder what the scroll is.
So bad.
Give me a second. That's a meteor shower scroll. Okay. That's pretty funny. I had no idea that was there. Okay. Oh shit, right, there's a boss here. I forgot you existed. Well, this is possibly gonna be bad for me. This is possibly gonna continue getting worse. Continuously for quite a while now. Yep. One of the things that this mod adds is bosses, so roughly every, I think, 30 enemies, they'll spawn a boss, which is like a huge, more powerful variant on the top tier of enemy of the type. And it will have like an affix on it, similar to like a Diablo game. And this one is a summoner, so every time it hits me, it will summon a new tier 1 or tier 2 of the same type. This is Maw, M-A-W. I think there should be a link in the description somewhere. Am I at 51K? Why am I looking over at my preview window to see if I have money in the game? That seems like not the right window to look at for that information. Alright, so we got this locked in, I think, so we should be golden. Just this fanatic kills us. Though, actually, we haven't been hitting it, so we don't know. We might actually release it from its prison. I'm trying to remember if Ma even stands for something. It stands for something, right? Hello. Just getting tagged. Okay. So we cleared out that. We got some junk. That's always nice and exciting.
Ooh.
We got some very nice boots. This is... We don't need the personality really on anybody right now, so let's just tag this. You can't wear them. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. The other thing that I need to remember is that I need to get my... Actually, we're getting there. We're getting close to the point where we just go over, turn in, like, a single quest, and come right back. Which is kind of what's going to happen as we go to Might and Magic 8, we turn in a quest and come back here. We haven't done any quests here yet, right? It's going to be interesting to see how this strat ends up going for us. Like, is there anything here that we can get? Okay, we can grab this chest now. Another chest back there.
We don't need this. We don't need this. Let's leave it behind.
True.
Let's leave it behind.
True.
We don't need this.
And correct. Okay. So we need to go over here and grab. Yeah, Might Magic 6 looked really good. Honestly, most of the games in the Might Magic series looked really good. I think the 6 through 8 stuff has a lot of really good looking stuff. I think that it's aged fairly well. I mean, I don't know that the creature design is necessarily aged super well in 6 in particular, but it feels really like the followers of Ba feel really weird. This was originally intended to just be a peasant model, right? And then presumably someone higher up in the food chain said we are not making 4 separate versions of the peasant model that you don't interact with in any meaningful way throughout the entire game. Are you fucking kidding me? So they ended up turning a bunch of them into the... Wait, did I say 4 types? No, it was 8. Because there were mask and femme variants for every single one of them. It's like, no, we're not making that many peasant models. You people are insane. We have to put this on a compact disc, right? What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, they're still labeled as peasant in the creature files, so you can see the original intention behind it. But yeah, there's a lot of like, cool looking critters. These ones, the lizard men to me remind me of the like dinosaur heads that people wear for like Halloween type stuff.
Who's next? Go.
Arr. We've actually got enough money that we can be fairly comfortable investing into our next expert skill, I think. Like, I feel pretty comfortable doing that. Oh, are we going to be able to pull all of them except the boss? Let's go. Did the boss just come? Yep. Well, like sometimes in life, your hopes are dashed against... Oh? And sometimes they're not. Okay. I think the exploder might have gotten itself locked in a place where it can't hit me, so we might be okay here. I don't see anything too dangerous in front of me right now. So it's also possible that the exploder can hit me from here, but I don't think it can, because I think I would have died by now. There we go. Hey, we're all golden. Was that a two-handed sword? Unfortunate, but let's see. Legendary two-handed sword?
Yes.
It actually was a legendary two-handed sword. God damn it. I don't have any characters with a sword skill. Let's see. On the plus side, it's Ascension, which I don't need. On the negative side, it's a
We don't need it.
massively powerful weapon, and I really wish that it was an axe. If I only had an axe. Okay, so I could actually equip it anyway on people. I don't even have expert dagger for this character, so this character I could just train with normal sword skill, and then this would just do 2.5 times as much damage. But the question is, do I want to have a slightly untidy skill list that has some extra skills on it that I don't want? I say as I literally have Arms Master on a character who can't use it. I had already contemplated picking up the sword skill to give myself some extra repair. I think we might train the sword skill. It's at this point in the game, it's a pretty powerful weapon to just be able to equip, to just like slap that on there. It feels like kind of a waste to pick up a legendary sword that I definitely can use and then just arbitrarily decide not to use it for no real reason other than just, oh, but I don't want my skill list to have sword on it though. Like the downside is it costs like 500 gold.
We don't need this. Let's leave it behind.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that once we get back to town. Oh, also, how close are we? We're getting there. The bosses, I think, are worth quite a lot of experience, so... A lot of progress, man. That's so funny. That's so funny. Like... I can't believe I called it. That fucking called shot. Like, you know, if you call enough shots, eventually you're gonna get one, right? That's the key. Just keep calling shots. No one's gonna remember all the times that you called them wrong. I can't believe it was legendary. That's gonna be so crazy. Okay, so we've got a legendary two-handed sword that we can equip on somebody. That was a bad idea to just walk away and go to this one. Let's go into the let's go into the shrine and heal up a bit. So we're getting close to time that we can go into town. And once we can go into town, this is still fairly low level, right? Alright. Nosferatu.
Now.
Nosferatu.
Who's next?
Archers down. Evil? What part of our party looks evil? As they kill someone and just start grinning with their giant canines. Hey, look. Liches are good, actually. Also, what are you? And Espiritus is a ranger by trade. You know? They're yeah, she's a ranger. You can tell her pronouns are she, her because her eyes are pink. And no, that's not actually a joke. The guy Lich model has red eyes and the girl model is pink. It's like, how do we gender our skeleton models? I know. I've got it. What if we give them glowing eyes?
Who wants some?
Because yeah, typically the way that it works in Might and Magic 7 and Might and Magic 8 is that Lich is a is a class promotion. So you basically replace whatever your original character model was with either the Mask or Femme Lich, right? And there's also like a short version of both for if you were a dwarf. But regardless of whether you're like a goblin or an elf or a human or whatever, they all turn into the same Lich model. And there's just the two models. And in this though, because you can basically like choose Lich as like a race, because it is like, from a coding perspective, it is a race that you are. You're both a race and class Lich once you become a Lich. And so I just made a Lich Ranger. The nice thing about Liches is that they are immune to, as a racial group, not as a not as a class, but as a race, the advantage that they have is that they're immune to mind and body magic, which by extension makes them immune to light magic. So, in the mod, it makes you immune to light magic. Outside the mod, they're still immune to mind and body. Mind and body are not like the most useful things to be immune to. I would say broadly, the most useful thing to be utterly immune to is probably air magic, because it's such a common damage type. So, like, being immune to air magic will make you immune to a lot of the most, like, dangerous threats the game has. This is a concern. I'm probably gonna die. Unless a Spiritus is a fucking god?
I need healing. I'll save us.
Do we have it? Nope. Not quite. Not quite. We were close, though. I feel like we're doing pretty well, actually, from a durability perspective, considering how early in the game we are. I think it usually takes me longer to start making progress in that regard. You're swift. Why are you so slow? Okay, this is concerning. That blast that was done by the Lizardman there was that much of a negative from 100% life, I think. So, can't allow that thing to hit me once, basically. There's a risk of death from anything. No. So, in vanilla, the exterior zones will respawn the entire zone after like 2 years. Like 2 years after your first entry to an area, the whole place will respawn. That's in-game years. For like reference, training takes about a week. Like training to the next level takes about a week. So like, it's 2 years is a long time. You'll probably have the game completed within the first year. But it's not like, it's not an amount of time that's like completely crazy, right? There's ways that you could kill enough time to respawn stuff. But in this mod, it depends on what setting you're on, like what difficulty setting you're on. I'm on the new highest difficulty setting that was just released a few days ago, or like a week and a half ago, probably. And it is. So in this one, there aren't any respawns for anything outside of like a very specific mechanic, because it's intended that you're clearing everything exactly once. You have a limited pool of experience to play with. You can't just like farm your way out of the problems that you're going to run into. So for this, I won't be able to do too much farming. There are certain places where you can like continuously respawn enemies, that where like enemies respawn like that. I think that most of those are probably deactivated on this difficulty setting. But also, you can only spawn a certain number of enemies on a given map. After a certain number of enemies have spawned, no more will spawn. Doesn't matter if you kill them. It's like each one has a number associated with it. Once you reach, however many you can reach, you reach the limit of what the map will spawn, and then no more enemies will spawn. Let's see. Is merge difficult to start? It depends on how comfortable you are with like modding stuff. I'm not sure that I would recommend. I don't think I'd recommend merge as a first playthrough. I'm not sure which one I would recommend as a first playthrough. I feel like maybe 7. The reason that I'm not sure that I would recommend merge as a first playthrough is that merge itself is kind of like weird. Like the merge plot line is kind of bizarre, and there's some of the quests that are in it are kind of like clunky and I don't think very well designed. So for like a first playthrough, I could see like you're not going to get as coherent an experience with merge as you would get with one of the games normally. Or even just like if you were to just merge all 3 of them together on their own, like you just like have the ability to get between places and you ignore everything else. I feel like some of the stuff that's added in merge would be stuff that might take away from the experience potentially. Well, it's not that it changes the story exactly. It's more that like there's a meta narrative that ties the 3 games into the same narrative, and that meta narrative has its own quest line, right? So the in-universe justification for why the same group of people is on 3 different continents doing 3 different things, right? That whole thing, the Ash Ketchumization of the Might and Magic series is it's its own thing. So I don't know that I would recommend it as a first playthrough. But yeah, there's a lot of patches. I definitely, regardless of which game you play, the Greyface patch is like top tier, fixes a bunch of things that are like broken, and makes things work very well. Highly recommend it. If you want to have the experience of things that are like a little bit like, a little bit janky. I don't think there's too many like game-breaking bugs that like Greyface fixes. So if you want the jank experience first, right? If you want the jank experience first, I don't think that you'll run into anything where you're like, oh well, this is broken my ability to enjoy the game. Which a lot of games that came out around this time have stuff where it's like, okay, you definitely need this. The Greyface patch is less necessary and more like, oh yeah, this is great. This like creates a more coherent experience than you otherwise would have. Let's see here. Like the first time that I streamed the game, I did it without the Greyface patch, but just to sort of like explore some of the ways that the mechanics play out without like dual wield being fixed in 6 and stuff like that. But because dual wield was basically broken and unusable in 6 in vanilla. But yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. I almost recommend just playing them kind of in order, honestly. There's like additions that come into play in 7, that make me feel like, in some ways, 7 is the most... I feel like, in some ways, 7 is the most put together of the 3. And it has stuff like the mastery system and this, that, the other stuff that I really enjoy. 6 has the advantage that of the 3, it's the one that there's the most like in basically in 6, if you can do a skill, you can master a skill. So I wouldn't say that 6 is the most balanced because, as an example, like the hybrids tend to just be kind of like better in a lot of ways than like a knight, for instance. But it also means that you aren't like gonna run yourself into a problem where you feel like, oh well, I really wish that I had like the one class that I have to bring into every single party. There's no one class that you have to bring in every single party in 6 at all. Whereas like if you're playing 7, you're gonna want to have a cleric in the party, or at the very least a sorcerer. Like if you don't have mirror magic, it's a lot more. Actually, no. I think you kind of. You do often just kind of want to have a cleric. If you don't have a cleric, you don't have GM body, and GM body has important stuff in it. It's not like a huge deal, but like there's certain elements of the design of 6 that I prefer, and it came out first, so I recommend doing that one first. But I do love 7 as well, and the addition of the Grand Mastery mechanics. And there's a ton of stuff that got added in 7 that here, this is a great way to put it. I would say that 7 is probably, according to the metrics of like how I would define quality, 7 is probably the best game in the series. From my perspective, with my subjective, values. However, 6 is my favorite game in the series. So figure that one out. Figure that one out. According to my subjective values, 7 is better, but somehow I like 6 more. Yeah. 6 and 7 also have a very different vibe in terms of like the like narrative structure and stuff like that. 6 is a fairly like loose narrative where there isn't much in the way of a linear narrative to 6. There's not like a it's very like it's very sandbox. And 7, the gameplay is very sandbox, but the narrative does follow a specific path. There's a trajectory to the narrative for the main story that does have a coherent beginning, middle, and end. So, depending on which of those you prefer, like I do think that they're basically like both always worth playing, just because of the fact that it's like, oh yeah, these are just two very, very different types of experience. And 8 also exists. And 8 also exists. I think 8 is fairly similar to 7 in a lot of ways. And it ran into the problem that, like, it was kind of rushed out the door, I think. It didn't get I don't think it got nearly as much development time as the other two did. But it does some very cool things. Like, 8 does a lot of really cool stuff. 8 adds like a bunch, like adds like trolls and vampires and all these like very meaningfully different classes. It adds the ability for a class to have its own specific specialized spell book. So like a class could actually be different than just how much mastery does it have in the different like the elemental and self magics. Like 8 actually was 8 broke probably a similar amount of ground to how much ground 7 broke. But unfortunately for 8, Might and Magic 9 isn't built in the same setting, so the ground that was broken in 8 is only in 8. Like, it doesn't, like you can look at the stuff that 7 did and that 8 then built upon, and it's like, okay, a lot of this stuff from 8 came from 7. But you don't see that with 8, where it's like, this is, like, been moved into another game. So it doesn't, like, create a standard because there isn't anything to build off of that standard. 9 was very ambitious as a project, and it was built at a time when ambitious projects were kind of doomed to fall apart. You can blame venture capitalism, like, pretty much. But the fundamentals of it, the fundamentals of 9, I think they did a lot of really interesting stuff with it. That if the game was finished when it released, I think that it would have been very well received. But it was so famously incomplete that, like, nothing worked. And since nothing worked, so there's a combination of factors that I think worked very much against 9. The first is that there's a lot of stuff that's very esoteric, right? Where it's like, you're not really sure why you're here and what you're doing, and like you kind of have like events and stuff that are triggered to happen at specific times. Like, you have a quest, and your quest tells you, go to this place at this time to meet this person. And there's an event that's supposed to happen when you go there at that time that involves people like wandering around, and things happen in a way that's very ambitious, far beyond anything that happens in the previous games, right? And the issue is that because it was so incomplete, all of these really ambitious triggers where you don't actually know what's going to happen. Like, okay, I'm supposed to meet a person over here at this time and something happens. I'm supposed to just be here. And something would happen or nothing would happen. And then you may or may not get the quest completion, and you have no idea what the hell just happened, right? Like, you might get a quest completion when an event failed to fire correctly and an NPC didn't spawn, but the timer for the quest trigger did spawn. So you're supposed to have a conversation that you didn't end up having, and yet you got the quest completion as if you had. Like, that's the kind of things that broke in 9, right? And so 9 was very ambitious, and I don't want to say that 9 was a bad game, because once you fix the things that were broken, they did a lot of really cool stuff that I think was really good. Like, they legitimately made some very good work there. It isn't like, a lot of times, like, you have a game where, like, it's kind of a broken mess, and the stuff that's there isn't very good in the first place. Like, it broke in achieving a mediocre goal. They failed to achieve their mediocre goals. 9, when it's working, does some really cool stuff. There's some really cool stuff in 9 that you don't see anywhere else in the series that I think is really cool and impressive. I don't know how it compares to, like, necessarily all the stuff that is potentially in, like, later games in the Wizardry series, for instance. I don't know how it compares to its competitors, but compared to the previous games in the series, it did a lot of really cool and interesting stuff. Where it actually, like, took the stuff that the previous games built on and took it another step. The spell system in 9 is really interesting because instead of each spell being attached to one skill, each spell is attached to 2 skills. And the two skills that it's attached to will impact different components of the spell, right? So as a random example, you might have a spell that is tied to let's go with, these aren't skills in 9, but let's say you have spirit and fire, right? And fire will increase the potency of the spell, the actual effect of it. And then spirit will affect the duration, so how long it lasts, right? And so you'll have the scalars will be for different components of the spell, depending on different things to it. It very legitimately interesting stuff to play with that I think adds a fun element to things, especially when you have different characters can get mastery and grand mastery in different things, right? So with a given spell, one class which can GM one type of magic but not the other type will have a more powerful version of the spell versus another class that might have one that lasts longer, or one will have a larger, something or other. Because it wasn't just duration, I don't think. There were other things that they had, but I just don't recall offhand what they all were. They did some really cool stuff. And it's very unfortunate that they weren't given the time to finish it. I think that it mostly works now if you use all the patches that are available. For the most part, it now works, and it's a playable and I think very interesting and fun experience in a way that I feel like Might and Magic 10 doesn't feel that interesting. It's playable, right? Might and Magic 10 wasn't broken on release in the same way, I don't think. But 10 was just kind of 10 was kind of a callback to an earlier time period of game, and I don't think that it did enough that was unique enough to make me desire it. It's similar to Operencia, the Stolen Sun, I think is what it's called. It's similar to that mechanically, in that it's okay, well, this is this is a retro 2D, thingamabobber. The game plays in this way that things used to play in. So it's oh, okay, we're going back to that genre. But whereas a game like Operencia has this beautiful, very unique aesthetic to it, and is very clear, has a very clear and strong creative vision. There is kind of the opposite for Might Magic 10, I feel. It's okay, this is the creative vision of this was, what if we recreated Might and Magic 4? It's well, Might and Magic 4 already exists, do we need to recreate it? I'm not sure we need to recreate it. So, which I say that, but I haven't played Might and Magic 4 in many years, and I only played a bit of it. I didn't play very much of it. I was very young during the actual grid-based RPG stuff, and I actually finished very few of those games because I was legitimately just too young to really comprehend them. On a deep and intuitive enough level that I would actually be able to meaningfully beat them. And I remember enjoying them, but I didn't I don't think I really comprehended them on a very strong level. I'm actually curious how many of them I played and how much they've kind of blurred together in my head as just that one game that I played as a kid, which I don't even know what it was called. There's this one game that I played as a kid that's it is a It is like a grid-based, game in that genre, and there's like a single town, and you're in the one town, and there's the one dungeon, and you're just delving deeper into the dungeon, and there's random encounters in town as well, and like the random encounters in town would sometimes just like fucking kill you before you're like a level 1 party, and you're just walking to the blacksmith or whatever, and you just get ganked by like 15 bandits and die. And it's like, oh, okay. How was I supposed to deal with this? Anyway. And it's very funny. I don't remember what the game was called. I don't know anything about it. It could have been a Might and Magic game. Maybe there was more to the game than just the one dungeon, but I don't think there was. I think it was just the one dungeon. I think I beat the game at some point, and it was just the one dungeon. Turns out I just did one quest in Might and Magic 3. I did, like, the newbie quest in Might and Magic 3 and thought I played a whole video game. But yeah, I don't know. What I need to play is I need to play the remake of Might and Magic 1, because I've been wanting to play Might and Magic 1. I've been wanting to just replay the entire series and do them all, but like every time I like open up Might and Magic 1, the audio that on the opening just makes me want to like set my computer on fire. It's like it's like, okay, well, we didn't have anybody with any sort of music theory knowledge on staff. We just had a bunch of programmers, and we needed some random noises. Music is when you make random, loud, obnoxious noises at the viewer repeatedly, right? That's what music is. It was that era of like game design where it's like a couple of companies accidentally hired a musician and made like some crazy like good theme songs and stuff like that, and like but then you have like all of the companies that did not in fact randomly stumble on somebody who played trumpet in high school, or rather they did. They had a guy who played trumpet in high school, and that was his entire understanding of music theory. And so, look, I don't know which side of the coin Might and Magic 1 falls on, but it sure sounds to me on first opening that it falls on the side of the guy who played trumpet in high school. That's the angle I'm going with. But it's hard to say, right? Like the hardware people were working with back then was very limited, and similar to how like a lot of people who look at stuff that like I think is aesthetically very pleasant, but which is like older, like very old graphics. A lot of times people like look at that and they just can't see past the technical limitations of it to the art that's like buried in those technical limitations. I feel like it's possible that I'm not going to be able to judge the really, really old like 8-bit music very effectively because of the fact that I'm like basically blinded by the 8-bitness of it. Give me my 16-bit music. That's that's the real shit. That's the real shit. The dancing mad, stuff is where things start getting real crazy. God, it's gonna be so unfair to have like just imagine being like a person who works in like sound design for video games in the 80s. And it's like, god damn it, like Nobuo Uematsu exists. Like this, because like you have this like generational talent, right, who's working in the industry, and then a bunch of programmers, right? Like legitimately, it's not like someone deliberately chose to hire like a very talented, generational talent, right? That's not what happened. It's that someone accidentally hired a generational talent because of nepotism, right? Like, so the dichotomy between these two things is just so huge, and it's just gotta really suck to be one of the people who's on the other side of that equation, right? And like you have a bunch of people who I don't know how long they've been in the industry. Like you have people like who's the Chrono Cross composer is so good. See, Yoko Shimomura. I'm trying to remember their name, and it's leaving me at the moment. But there's like certain people who are these like incredibly talented performers in the industry, and then there's like the industry at large, which was like just it's like me trying to do music, right? Like I'm not familiar with music theory necessarily, but like I know math. I could make some music. Music is basically just math. So just give me a few weeks and I'll come up with something. and then you have these generational talents, and it's like it's just. And it's a good thing that we did have those generational talents, actually, because I do think that if we didn't have like stuff like the Final Fantasy theme coming out as early as it came out, I think it would have taken a lot longer for us to get really good music in gaming. I think it would have taken a lot longer if we didn't end up with these kind of like... It would have been like probably the PS1 era before people started giving us like real bangers deliberately, would be my guess. Because the PS1 era, I think, is about when like they just started throwing money at gaming. Before that point, like there wasn't a huge amount of money involved, right? So like I feel like that's the point where people start like actually deliberately hiring musicians, if they don't realize that it's actually really important and will help a lot if people like actually enjoy the music and the crazy shit that you could do. Like Final Fantasy VI, like I think kind of like changes the entire industry, where it's like, oh yeah, okay, you can do this with a Super Nintendo sound system. And if you hijack the entire, system just to make music, then you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. God, I can't believe the dancing that exists. Yeah, I am also having a good time. I was tired earlier, but now I'm feeling much more awake and alert, which is good. Right, I need to check. We're at 12. Okay, we've got enough. And not by a ton. We didn't, like, overshoot it by a ton. So we should be able to go back to Might and Magic 8. We can just quickly tag Might and Magic 8 to get 6 up to 12. And then we can we can come back here and keep beating up random critters here. Oh, actually, you know, we can try to do that as making a second attempt at that island. That's the other thing we could do.
Closed.
It's closed. Do we need to do anything? Okay, so we've got 67 grand. We have the ability to train two... That is big. 54 HB is a big boost for whoever gets it. Let's see here. Who do we want to give this to? Nosferatu. Let's give it to Nosferatu. Oh, right, and we also need to train the sword skill. Yeah, let's do that. What day is it today? It is Thursday. 8:30 on Thursday. I guess we'll just walk to Ravenshore. Yeah, we'll walk over, get to Ravenshore, and then once we've done that... No, I'm not going to do it that way, because I think this makes more sense. We're going to wait until dawn and take a carriage back if it's available, and it is. So we're going to take the carriage to New Sorpigal. Then, in New Sorpigal, we're going to go back to Jadaim. Then in Jadaim, we will go to do something. We should probably sell, and should I get... What skill are we getting to expert next? I don't think any of this character's skills are super critical at the moment. Getting air magic up to expert would give me access to jump. We can move regen over to Choppily if we got blood to expert. But we need... I don't know if we have enough mana for that, actually, so we don't necessarily need to do that yet. Shadow Barracosa has expert in that. Expert Arms Master might be rare. Actually, we already have... How much? We have +6 on this, so we could actually get... If we got Expert Arms Master... It seems kind of crazy to do, right? Master Blade is here. Expert Spirit. If we get Master... If we got Expert Arms Master... I feel like the Expert Arms Master person might be over in Dagger Wound. We needed to turn in a quest on Dagger Wound, right? Yes, we need to turn in the potion ingredients on Dagger Wound. So let's go do that. We could also... Actually, we could check if this gives us exactly what we need. Because we need almost exactly a level. So if we get almost exactly a level out of this... then that would get the job done. We don't get quite that much. Okay, we will load this back up. We're going to pop over to the other place first. My guess is that that won't give us enough experience, but we might want to split the experience between quests and Thinger. Oh, it's Sunday. Okay, so it's time to go to... the arena. Do we try to do Endless Arena again? We could try to do Endless... Oh, wait. We need to pick up the sword skill on somebody. Who's picking up sword skill? I feel like it makes a degree of sense to get it on Choppily, but Choppily has a really good weapon. I feel like I guess we're going to do it on you. Okay, let's Let's pick up sword skill on Nosferatu.
Our axes are the best.
Then we can equip this giant two-hander. This also means that we probably can't heal very much, but that's okay. And now we can
Coach, ready to go.
pop in here. This will also mean that we can use Snake.
I love the taste.
So,
Where is the enemy?
okay, chasing after the ones that are running away from me is not really a great idea. Oh, do I even have...
That wasn't so bad.
Who's next?
If I don't have the Ascension skill, I guess the plus Ascension thing can't hurt me, right?
Now.
I don't think this is going to work out for me. Yeah, no shot. No shot. I don't think this is going to work out. We're going to need to... We'll load up the Squires again. Well, we could try doing a... we could try doing a night level event. You know, we're a bit stronger than we were. So let's try doing this on night. We will probably just get pounded into the dirt. Yeah. Just a bit. Just a bit. Yeah, let's do this on Squire.
Let's go in.
Let's do this on Squire. We know how this is gonna go. Wait, is this exclusively Dragonflies? Horrifying. Just a fully consolidated pile of Dragonflies. And this thing might just kill me outright.
Never seen one before.
Look at the fucking fire damage in this.
I'm hurt.
Yeah,
Badly.
we're gonna get soloed by this Dragonfly.
I need healing. I'll save us.
That's very funny.
Need a coat, ready to go.
Everything got locked in except for one Dragonfly, and it just obliterates us. Oh god. Soul suckers.
I'm hurt.
Yeah, there's too much of a difference between the slowest and the fastest. There's no way we're gonna be able to do that.
Ready to go.
Don't even worry about it. We got this. We got this on lock. We got it on lock. No problem. No problem. We got this on lock. Just fucking one shot. Oh man. There. Look, we got this. We got it. On lock. No problem. No problem whatsoever. We got it. It's with you and your soul suckers. God, there's two more soul suckers in the back. Yeah, no shot. Man, this is rougher than I was expecting. We're having some trubs. Yeah, the arena is a little intense. I'm not sure if we can realistically do the arena right now. Even on Squire. I guess we could do the page one. It's so funny. I like never do arena outside of doing the night level one. Let's do the page. Is it just giving me fewer enemies as opposed to different level of enemies? Is that what's happening? No, right?
What is it?
Yeah, that didn't instantly kill us with any of its attacks. That's useful. Imagine that. Imagine being able to hit the enemies and not have them instantaneously obliterate my party.
Got him.
Okay, so the Pirate Seer's down. Look, this is moderately insulting. Okay, look. I needed it to be easier than what it was just now. I didn't need it to be that. That's just rude. Okay? Rude. At any rate, let's see here. How much more EXP do we need? We just need, you know, a full level's worth of experience. Okay. So what is it that we were doing next? Right, okay, so now it's Tuesday. And I think Tuesday might be the day that we can get to... Thinger. Yeah.
Come aboard.
Yeah, we can get to
Anchor's
Daggerwood
away.
Island. Perfect. Alright, so now we can go grab this quest and turn it in. And, I mean, we already grabbed the quest. Do we have any other quests? We don't have the Anointed Potion. Or Prophecy of the Snake. Do we have... Did we find Isthric the Tunnel? Oh, yeah, he's on one of these random islands. So I just need to talk to him on that island, right? So we should be able to get that experience as well. We're going to have quite a bit of quest EXP to turn in here, which will be nice. I want to get as much questing done as possible, because the more of the quests that I get done, the more I'm getting experience without getting loot, and the higher level the bolster is when I get the loot, the better. So, you are bodybuilding expert. So it takes 20,000 and 30,000 for you. Wait, do you not have... Repair item isn't supposed to be on the list, right? For 500, huh? I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, so... Interesting. So yeah, we have the ability to pick up expert bodybuilding here if we want, but I think we're going to want to basically just do... Yeah, this is master. Who's the expert? Norbert. Garrett Gorge. Not doing that anytime soon. Right. We already did the game of accuracy, I believe. Did I not? Guess I did it with people who did it, and not one person. Expert body. Okay. Did I get the experience? No. So we need to go back to turn in to get the experience there. And we have... Let's go do that first. Thank you. Do we... I don't need to fight those, I don't think. Let's go back over here. We're going to check whether this quest gives us enough experience on its own. I don't think it will. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn these two quests in. It might be a bit of overkill, but it'll probably be a reasonable way to handle things. So we just need to find the one that has... Oh, Expert Air is right here. So that costs 20 grand. It doesn't cost 30, it costs 20 for the second one. So I think this is a bug. I think that repair is not meant to be costing this much. Like, I don't think repair is on that list. But I think what's happening is it's for whatever reason contributing to the list. We'll see. Let's see. It might be only contributing for things like bodybuilding. What's that? Okay, Prophecy of the Snake. Okay. What are we looking at? Okay, I guess I can just compare it to them. Okay. That's actually great. Okay, that's... I think going to be... That's going to mean that basically by doing this and this other one over here, we will hopefully get close to... like half a level or so. Guess we'll see. Once we got this quest turned in, we can go back out, and then we won't have to come back here for quite a while. Unless we want to for other reasons. But yeah, we picked up the ability to get jump, right? We have expert now. Yes. And we actually... It's not going to be that expensive to get expertise, I think. Okay. This is Expert Disarm, which we already have. Kelly is in... Where? Alvar. Okay. So... How we doing? So we've now tied up to where 6 is, and that brings 6 up to level 12. So that's actually pretty perfect. Pretty perfect. We go back into 6 because I want to be sticking to 6. As long as it is equal, and go. I guess we'll go to the island, right? Do I want to do that now, or do I want to start attempts on that tomorrow? My fatigue is coming back as I contemplate the idea of doing hard things. Let's see here. I think I'm going to do some, at the very least, management of what stuff I need. So we need to get our arms master up to the point where we can get expert. For you, we could pick up either expert regen or bodybuilding on this character. And it might make sense for us to try to pick up bodybuilding on as many people as possible. We have 4 levels that we can train up. That's going to be a fairly big deal. So let's go train. Once we've trained, we can... I think maybe we invest into some bodybuilding boost. I don't know though. I feel like I need to invest into the magic.
Excellent.
Let's see. Indeed, Arnie would be proud. We can also get... I think at this point we want to get leather up to 8. Because we're going to start getting some decent stuff here. And getting this up to 8 is a lot cheaper than getting the other things anywhere else. So let's get leather up for you. For you, we can actually get enlightenment up to mastery already. Interesting. Is that... I feel like that might just need to be what needs to happen here. Because getting enlightenment up to 12 is going to make a really, really big difference. So do we focus on that before we focus on anything else? Just to allow ourselves to maintain more buffs. We can get Bless and Fate cast by this character. We can potentially do meditation if we feel like it. We have regeneration that we're maintaining. There's quite a few things that we can maintain on this character for right now. This might be worth it. And I think especially because of the fact that we've got that sword, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we might want to get bodybuilding first, though. Getting bodybuilding to expert. Getting... yeah. We're going to get bodybuilding and regen up on this character. I want to have a party that is fairly durable. Enlightenment is great, but I can't do it this level period, and right now I'm in probably like one of the most painful sections that I'm gonna be in for a while. Merchant Expert was on Dagger Wound, and I don't think there's... I don't want to go back to Dagger Wound to pick up Expert Merchant. We can't get Arms Master Expert, but one more point in this actually gives us 2, so we'll do that. And I think we actually do just pump bodybuilding to get Shadow Barricos a bit tankier. Choppily is going to need to figure out what to do. Getting expert in this potentially gives me access to blood. It's also fairly cheap. Unholy expert is not easy to do. I honestly think I think I want to just do bodybuilding. Weirdly. I want to get bodybuilding up. I think I'm going to do bodybuilding and regen up to 8. I don't know that I'm going to train them both on this character before I start doing other training, but I think that we even might. So this character has a lot of skills that they need to train. They have earth expertise, they have all these expertises, but I don't know that any of them are a super high priority right now, actually. I think that we get bodybuilding to 8. I think we get perception to 4. We can train expert perception. We can train expert bodybuilding. And I think the next thing that's our priority might just be getting expert bodybuilding on everybody. as weird as that is. If we get expert bodybuilding on everybody, then all of these people that have like very strong regen will have even stronger regen. And I think that we'll be much less susceptible to getting burst down. For at least a time, we will have the ability to get ahead of the curve in terms of a thinger. We rolled a 5. So I think that that's what we're going to do. So let's go back to Enroth, and we're going to pick up expert bodybuilding on 2 characters. We're gonna lean into it hard. Nosferatu is one of them. It's not gonna be 500. It's a very different number. So expert bodybuilding has been trained. Did my HP instantly go up? Or did it not? Wait. It did. Basically just instantly up. The regen is just high enough that it goes up very quick. Okay, so 326, so that's about a 10% increase from just that. It's a bit more than a 10% increase. Let's see. You are at 270. You have 8 bodybuilding. You are maintaining some of these spells. So let's find out if this is... Yeah, so this is, I think, bugged? Hey, Astro Kitty. I think this is bugged, because I don't think that this is supposed to be associating this repair expert. It might be only doing it because of the fact that... Because it wasn't happening for Identify Item. This character didn't run into this issue. At least I don't think they did. I didn't get Dagger Expert before I got these, so yes, this character did not run into this issue. So it might be specific to bodybuilding. Let's pick up bodybuilding on you, I guess. Do I want it on you? Ooh, wait. You can pick it up too? You can't pick it up. You need 8. So let's do this. Alright, so you now have 370 HP. You have 326. You have 267 until you die, until you go unconscious, at which point you have way less. Let's see here. What else do we need to do? I think we're golden. We've basically zeroed out our cash. I think that this is going to be the way to do it, though. We can get expert perception, I think. Let's just pick that up before I forget. There we go. So we now have expert perception. So now we shouldn't have any trouble, like, looting the thingamabobers. We're going to eventually need to get perception on everybody, but it's important to have it on at least one character immediately. And yeah, I think that we try to clear this. Do we want to just dive and see what happens? We should be so much stronger now, and I think they've only gained like 1 level. This is definitely not the angle to approach from, but we can see how things go. What spells are you casting? You aren't the one who can cast that, so... You can disable this and enable air resistance. How much of a difference does air resistance make? Probably a fairly large one. We've mostly been puttering around. We did some puttering in Iron Fist. And we've done this quite a bit. This thing where we die horribly going to this island. And we have cleared the northern island. So at this point, we're looking to basically get ourselves across here. Well, we're not. Today's another one of those days where I don't know that we need to count deaths. I don't know that we need to count deaths today. It's a large number. I still owe my planks from yesterday. We actually opened stream with me doing the squats that I owed, and I did my push-ups yesterday, so we weren't behind on those. So, but the planks I didn't want to do on stream because they just take too long. Because it's just me sitting there still for several minutes. That's what planking is. That's the problem. But yeah, so I'll have, I think like 6 minutes of planks that I need to do. Like, because it's a minute for each, like, variant on the planks from yesterday. And so now we have, 2 sets of those that we owe instead of just one. Yeah, I've been meaning to get back into exercise and just haven't for, a while. So getting back into it via the reenacting the punishments, I think, is a very sensible way to handle it. Alright, so we do actually have decent damage now. We have decent burst damage. We really just need to figure out how we're going to get across this. It's such a pain in the ass that I'm tempted to just go back to Iron Fist. We only have about 45 minutes left. So, God, wouldn't it be nice if I could just fight you this way? Imagine if I could use ranged attacks. This is a leech? I didn't check what the bosses were. This is a leech? Okay. I didn't remember that there was a leech, so I guess that's what that means. I think I should be a bit tankier than I was before. So can I do this? No. Luckily the leeches don't lifesteal. The term sapper might be a bit more semantically appropriate. They basically just, your life drains as long as you're near them. Your life and mana both drain as long as you're near them. So, and the closer you are to them, the faster they drain. So, for something like this, fighting this from range, like fighting it from over here, would be fairly easy to do. But the way that I play, I don't allow myself to use ranged attacks. And funnily enough, I actually mechanically can't use ranged attacks. You'll note that if I attack, I don't like shoot an arrow. The reason is because the developer actually added like a thing that disables the ranged attacks completely if the first character's name is Wu Carrot, because I usually just don't equip bows because I'm not allowed to use them according to my rule set. And so the developer added a little thing that allows me to use bows for as like stat sticks, basically. Can I pull you without pulling everybody? We're gonna try to take out this boss.
That wasn't so bad.
It was actually, not inaccurate. Oh, that one's walking away. Convenient. Okay, so we're able to get in here and immediately fall into the water. And we're gonna die, regardless of anything else. Bug report. For some reason, bows don't work at all. When I try to shoot, nothing happens. So we have quite a few of them that come as a result of this. When we do this poll, we get quite a few. It's not that bad, though, honestly. It's a huge issue, obviously, if they tag... I know my characters' names. Choppily. Choppily. That's... I got it. We got there. If Choppily gets hit early, then obviously it's a problem, but as long as Choppily doesn't get hit immediately, it's pretty much fine. I am actually curious, can I just dive the spellcasters here? Not really, right? Because that's just going to make more aggro. So... the issue is that once they start accumulating, I'm going to take more damage per second. I don't know if I can use this as a reasonable location. Like, I moved that one over there. I don't know that... because I can't just wait on these. These ones are... oh, yes, walk away from me. I love to see it. Love to see it. I don't know if I can get this thing back in a good location, though. So, I might actually not love to see them walking away from me like that. Because it just means that my life is going to be harder. I'm actually just going to dive this one again. If I can just burn down one mage, that's like a life-changing thing for me. How many actually are there on the north side now? There's honestly not that many on the north side. So, I think we're going to... now that we've pulled this whole group this far south, I'm actually going to go to the north side and see if I can start fighting the ones that are up there that are isolated. Because if I can get those... if I can get... basically, if I can get a green spot on the island, I can drag everything to that green spot in smaller groups that are manageable. It's breaking into the island is the really big issue, is how do you do the initial pull of this island? And I feel like the initial setup of this island was particularly nasty, because the assortment of these mages, where they're actually spawning, the physical location of them was spread out in such a way that it's very difficult to get the opening gambit started. So that one is aggroed, it looks like. I got the mage. I don't think the mage should be able to aggro from as far over there as I was, so I probably got too close to the island in advance, because we're already in aggro radius. Yeah, I got way too close to the island, probably. Then again, I don't know, actually. It's moving, but it's moving away from me right now. Not consistent. You know what I might be able to do? I'm going to dive. So we're going to basically go as far to the east as possible. We're not going to try to lure them to come to me. And we're actually going to just dive into the shrine and see if we can make that work. Shit. Because if I can get into the shrine, I can limit the approach vectors that the enemies have. The issue is, I need there can't be that many of them hitting me at the start. Like, if I could wrap around in such a way that some of the ones that are in front go behind, that'd be great. I seem to have instead wrapped around in such a way that the ones that were behind went in front. Also, I can't do it this way anyway because there's a leech. Regardless of what else happens, the leech is going to kill me if I do that. So we can't really do that realistically.
Now. Go.
How are we doing here? Says, don't know if that's going to be a realistic. There's the exact location of like this like fucking grouping that we have here is so nasty. I wonder if I could just run them south. Can I run these even further south? Can I try actually just running the whole island further south than it starts? I think I might be able to. I feel like before it wouldn't have been feasible because I just wasn't tanky enough. Right? Like, I wasn't going to survive that one hit that I just took. If I can't tank that one hit there, then I go down, right? So the amount of damage that's coming in needs to be manageable in theory to be able to just like run by. So getting that drive-by done, I now potentially can rotate up to the north again, to the north side of the island, and maybe some of the enemies that were on the north side are in a better position for me. So it looks like the mage boss is now on the other side of the island. It's possible... I don't know how likely it is, but it's possible that I can jump in here, get some pot shots, and get out. Without things going too crazy. It looks like this is moving toward me, though, right? Like, this thing is definitely approaching this direction, I think. God, this is so funny. Just the combination here. So this mage boss is obviously an issue. Maybe I can use the. All right, we're gonna. I don't think this is gonna work. I'm pretty sure this is gonna end very badly for me. This is gonna be. I just shaved, or rather, I trimmed my beard, and so my face is itchy now because it's like sharp. Let's see here. That's why I keep scratching my beard. Let's see. Now these guys are all over here. I don't think this is going to be a reasonable way to do this. However, I might be able to do something like this. The issue is that the leech can hit you through walls. So regardless of everything else, we're probably just going to end up getting killed through the wall by the leech. So we would need to isolate the leech from the others. I don't think the apprentice mages are super relevant. Okay, we took out one of the low-tier goblins. So, I mean, progress. Let's see.
I don't know.
Are we just gonna have to use hit and run tactics to make this work?
I've never seen one before.
I'd love to be able to set this up in a way that I can clear out a bunch of them at once. But that just might not be feasible. We might need to do hit and run tactics if we're going to do it. Yeah, the leech is a problem. The bigger problem, honestly, than the leech is the mage. The exploding mage. So Exploder in this context makes it so that if it hits a target, the damage explodes out and does AoE. So it hits every target with every hit. The damage it does to everybody else is much lower, though. That one is going to hit me for a fuck ton of damage, like, every time. And that one is really the most consequential threat right now. In particular because of how slow it is, weirdly. Like, because it's such a slow enemy, it's hard for me to maneuver it around the island. Like, it's fairly easy for me to get these to move around. It's so funny that Exploder is so low. Dude, I feel like I need to take advantage of that. Moving enemies toward where I need them to not be, actually. It's probably better to reload for that, actually. These are meandering around. The goblins don't hit nearly as hard as the mages do. So
I don't know.
This is the leech. The leech is actually approaching me. We're gonna move this leech if we can, and I think we can. We're gonna try to get this leech rotated north, along with those mages that we accidentally moved south just now. So we're just going to move this whole line further north. Just start moving directly away. Just get them as far to the northwest as possible, basically. And we now got this boss on the north side. So this boss is now separated away from the other boss. And the issue is that, so basically the second that we start getting this corner cleared, this corner that we have here is a very workable corner in theory. So this section where we were fighting before, this spot is a pretty good spot to fight. The issue is that this area happens to have every single goddamn mage on the whole island, and I can't dodge their projectiles. So these things hit like trucks, and they're all in this corner. But if I was able to burn down like a couple of these mages, like if I was able to take out just like 2 of them, it would be a massive, massive shift for the entire thing. So maybe what I do, I think this is what I do. What we're going to do is we're going to try to run by these again, and this time we're going to pull them north. And we're going to probably run straight into this guy. We're not going to try to kill him, though, because if we try to kill him, we're definitely going to die. So our goal right now is to... Oh, shit. Oh, we're dead. They kept hitting the target who maintains the water walking. So the goal here is basically just to run by and pull these north. And again, the person who maintains the thing is dead. That being said, I am taking a huge amount of damage when I try to do this. There's just look at all these targets that are basically guaranteed to hit when they attack. So if I could get this one to approach closer, what I'm really looking for is I want this mage to walk all the way forward to where the other dude did. I don't know that this journeyman is super relevant. I think I'm gonna burn him down anyway, just to see what happens. That one's toast. Now we try to leave and maybe die of drowning. If we die of drowning. Can't. Yeah, I stayed too long. I can get in for one combat round, but I can't do more than like a combat round basically. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is now where I want it to be. So, now that it's where I want it to be, we're going to wait here for a little bit, and then we're basically just going to dive it. I think this one, we have to get lethal on. Getting lethal on that Journeyman Mage doesn't really change much. Getting lethal on this is like, this is like an eighth of the entire island's worth of problems. Okay, I need to reload. It just was running the opposite direction. It cannot just walk away from me. It has to stay in a position where I can hit it. So, we can't kill this in one round like this. There's no way we're going to have enough DPS for that. So, what we need to do instead is we are going to run in, we're going to take one pot shot at it, and then leave. And the hope is that when we do this, we don't have to deal immediately with the entire pack descending. And unfortunately, that's exactly what we have to deal with. We have to deal with the entire pack descending. I could potentially move some of these. It looks like these have rotated away from the wall. So I might be able to rotate those north now in a way that I couldn't before because they were just like directly in my path. Sometimes the electric projectiles miss. I don't know why they miss, but sometimes they do miss. So we have the potential. Oh, damn it. Without having shared life, if too much damage comes into in Choppily, we're just toast. Stop hitting Choppily, please. You know what? I should actually be jumping. It makes it a lot easier to dodge projectiles if you jump.
That wasn't so bad.
Okay, we're probably dead here. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think that we do need to get this. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Choppily just keeps getting tagged, like, right off the bat. It's real rough. Okay, we are gonna keep jumping. No! God, we fucking had that. We would have totally had that. If that hit hadn't come out, we would have had it. It just needed to hit one of the other 3 targets that were available to hit. It's so rough. But yeah, it does, you know, it's proof of concept, right? Like, it's definitely feasible. It's not that we're running out of HP entirely, we're just running out of HP on the one target, who we can't run out of HP on, right? So, as long as we don't have Choppily go down too quickly here, we're fine. Okay, we're in the green. So, we'll be able to regen back up. I also need to do something quick. We need to go grab the Might Fountain. So, I don't think we're going to be able to finish this whole place today, but we should be able to at least make some progress into it. And then tomorrow we can finish it up. I think it'll work fine. I do think that after having successfully gotten through that, I think that should clear out a lot of the enemies that were in that corner and make that corner more usable. But, you know, I say that and then I see a lot of enemies that are not in a place that I want them to be. So, how many of you are still here is the question. The answer is, I don't know, actually. Depends on what. I can actually use this one instead if I want. But we have moved a lot of them away from the southern side of this island. So we're gonna have 3 mages if we pull to here, I think. And I think before we had like 5 or something, right? So my goal right now is to get one of the 2 of these into position. So we're either going to get them to this position, which seems like the one that's going to happen, or get the other one in position. And I think we actually kind of got them both in position. So we can take our pick. I think we're going to dive this mage, though the other mage is the one that's injured. That mage is in the wrong position to try it, though. So we're going to try this one. We're going to basically just dive straight for here. And if we're here, we're taking damage from too many mages. This is not going to work. We need to do it. We need to do the other one first. If we can do the other one first, we'll have one less mage in play. So for this, we need to be over here. It's also possible... Why are you walking away from me? Oh, you bastard. You're just gonna retreat all the way back to your default position. Oof. Alright, we're gonna dive this one. And it's gonna go badly for us, but we're gonna make the attempt anyway. Okay. We also do pull the boss from there. That is the Exploder. So this spot here, we pull a huge amount of enemies too. Ow. Okay, this one is approaching the right place now. One of the issues that we run into here is just the fact that as long as it's not in position, it is, while it's approaching me, it's just going to be completely fucking destroying me. So I guess when we get it moving the correct direction, we then have to basically just fully disengage.
That wasn't so bad.
And once it's disengaged, we then come back to it. Right? Except now, it's walking away, and I don't like it. You're gonna walk all the way back home, aren't you? Shady bastard. Okay, so we got 1.5 rounds of combat into that thing. Please don't die. I need you to stay. Damn it! Not by a lot. We barely died there. We almost got it. Okay, I think my wife might actually be on her way home. Let's see. Wait, did I not save after I didn't save after I did the poll. God damn it. Oh no, you son of a bitch, you need to come. Okay. We had done the poll and we got into the green and we didn't save while we were in the green, so now we have to redo the poll and it's very sad. Okay. Like it wasn't a completed poll or anything. It was far from perfect, but it was at least something. Alright, we're gonna try. Okay, I think that is a fairly good poll. We're gonna just pop back over here and we're just basically diving this thing. It's so rough. It's so rough getting hit with the first attack on the one person, right? There's just the one target where if they get hit twice, it's over. And to start the pull with them getting hit is so rough. And we're gonna back out now. Ooh, we got a big hit there. Okay, we might be able to get there. We got a cross. This thing's fucking so close to dead. If we can kill this mage, if we can kill this one mage, I will be so happy. We need to kill this mage before we have to end for the day. If we get one mage dead, oh, that's a big deal. The boss is like lower than it was before. By which I mean it's lower than full. It's not completely healthy. Okay. So, we're actually going to move over this way. Okay, we got tagged by an exploder there. Okay, the boss is now over here. Could I rotate the boss out too? I could probably rotate the boss out too. Give me a second to figure out what messages I'm receiving here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so my wife wants to meet in about 45 minutes, which means that I think that it's probably best for me to actually end things here. So, tomorrow, I think we have a pretty good idea of how we're going to do this. Basically, we are going to rotate these north as best we can, and basically just get this boss up with this one. Just get everybody bound up in this northwest corner. Once I've rotated a bunch of people up to the northwest corner, we're just going to pop into the southeast corner. We're going to plow through the enemies that are there and make things work that way. I think that's the thing I should be doing. What we should be doing is basically just creating a trajectory where we move everything to the northwest. It's fine for everything to be consolidated in basically one spot, because I can basically just inch my way forward. The island is big enough to be in the green without the island being cleared, right? So if I can just pull things to me, we should be able to make this work. And that's how we're going to have to do it tomorrow. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. And next time we have a pretty clear idea of how we're going to make this work. Later, folks.